Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Everyone.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
My name is Tyler Lynch, and I'm here to do Staff Clue. Okay, so this staff member spent the whole summer in the mountains of Colorado. Now, it doesn't say which summer, so I'm going to have to assume it was this past one. Yeah, I mean, what can you do with limited information? I know. But I'm going to have to go with somebody who wasn't there this past summer. And gonna have to go with Aeronauti on this one.
Miranda Robinson.
All right, I know I have got one clue right for sure. It is the staff member who spent the whole summer in the mountains of Colorado. Was Z.
That clue is me, because I worked for a different camp out in Colorado before I came to Lomic.
Member has recently become allergic to cats. Now, I know Kathy had a cat at one point in time, and Lauren has dogs. I don't know if Lauren has ever had a cat, but I do think that Lauren is more of a dog person than a cat person. And I don't know if that would have something to do because maybe she's allergic to cats. But I am going to say that this one might be Lauren.
That kind of sounds like Lauren, if I'm going to be honest.
I think that this one's Kathy. Why? The grammar sounds exactly correct. So that feels like Kathy.
My clue is that I have recently become allergic to cats. This is very unfortunate. I am more of a dog person than a cat person, but still, cats are fine. I would like to pet them. After that, I drove to a meeting, and at that house, there was also a cat. And the itching was getting worse, and the mosquito bites seemed to have spread. And then I drove 3.5 hours home, and I was just itching all over. At every stoplight, I was, ah! And then I got home and threw off my clothes, and I was perfectly fine after that. I had hives.
Next one is I was part of a fake televised crowd for an American Idol winner. That to me sounds like a very Gina Mac thing to do. You seem like someone who would be into American Idol. I say that I was very into American Idol for a long time. It's a great show.
I don't know about you, but I haven't watched American Idol, I don't think ever. But I remember it when I was like younger. So my first thought was, well, American Idol is kind of old. And I was like, Kathy. Because Kathy would have done something like that, I feel like. And American Idol was more popular when like Kathy was younger. So I think my guess is that it's Kathy.
So that's definitely not Kathy, because Kathy wouldn't be caught dead doing that. So it's not my sister either. I would have known about that. So I'm going to have to go with Julia on this one.
I was in marching band as a freshman in high school back in 2015 because I'm a geek, and I played the saxophone, but marching band's awesome. I loved it. And during my freshman year, my band director said that we were going to go on a trip to Philadelphia and New York because we were going to be playing in the Philadelphia Thanksgiving Parade, which is not as cool as the Macy's one, but still televised. And so we were also told that we were going to be part of a fake crowd for one of the float performers. And we found out it was Caleb Johnson, who is the 2014 American Idol winner.
This staff member once saw 13 bears in 1 week. I don't know. That's a lot of bears. I think I'm going to answer Aaron because that seems like something he would do, but also that would require him to answer his phone, so I'm not even sure if he participated here.
And that is definitely Kathy Roberts. Like, if that's not, I'll be quite surprised.
I think that this is Kathy because Kathy is the bravest person I know, and she probably will deny that, but I think that she's the bravest person I know. And I feel like you don't just coincidentally see 13 bears in 1 week. Maybe you do, but I feel like you have to intentionally put yourself in that position, and Kathy would be the one to do that.
And I think this one is Aeronauti, specifically because I think she's been on a trip to Gatlinburg.
My parents and I go to the Smoky Mountains in Gatlinburg, Tennessee a lot. We go probably at least once every year, and seeing 13 bears, basically we just got lucky.
So this clue was, my clue is that I've been to the top of the Eiffel Tower at Kings Island. Now, when this clue came in past the deadline, my first thought was Tyler. But then I remembered, Tyler's pretty punctual about things, so I don't think it was Tyler. So then, after analyzing the rest of the clues, I think it was Becca Groeling.
I think that this is Julia, because I know that Julia has lived in Ohio, and Kings Island's in Ohio.
So have I. So cool. But Allie Lynch. I'm thinking that's Allie Lynch. I know she's afraid of heights, so that seems like a big accomplishment for her. So I'm gonna go with Allie Lynch for that one.
I've been to the top of the Eiffel Tower at Kings Island. I didn't go out far, like I didn't go out and like look around and walk around, but I did go to the top of it, and it was not fun, but I did it, so woo.
My favorite professor let me call him Gummy Bear. LOL. I think that's Allie. That's Allie Lynch.
I have a couple of different thoughts for this one, just kind of people right off the bat that I think might do this. My first thoughts are either Dale, Allie, Becca, or Courtney.
I feel like that could be Becca or Dale. But I'm leaning towards Becca because I just feel like Becca would be very proud to call someone Gummy Bear.
To go with what I think is Dale's clue now. This is their favorite professor. Let them call them a gummy bear. This totally sounds like a Dale thing. 100% sounds like a Dale thing. And I know Dale loves her professors. So it's an easy clap there. Sorry, Dale. Make your clue harder next time. That's all I'm saying.
Clue was the one where I said I got to call my favorite professor Gummy Bear. So the reason that happened was because at the beginning we got to know each other and everything, and like an interesting fact or something I said was that my cousin, when I was really young, used to call me Logie Bear, and then he laughed and thought it was hilarious, so he called me Logie Bear all semester. And then the last class, he was like, hey, I'm going to tell you why I thought it was so funny that I called you Logie Bear. And I said, okay. And he said that he used to be really nervous when he first got to college, but he was trying to make himself outgoing. So he would walk up to people and introduce himself and try to shake his hand. But he would get really nervous and shaky and talk really fast. So whenever he would introduce himself, Greg McBrayer, he would say something like, my name's Greg McBrayer. And people heard Gummy Bear. So his nickname throughout all of college, unfortunately, was Gummy Bear. And he thought it was funny that my cousin called me Logie Bear. So I started calling him Gummy Bear. What a dude, Greg.
One says, this staff member has been inside the room at the Capitol building where the British started the fire that burned a lot of it down in 1812. I think that this is Dale, but that's kind of a random answer. I have no rhyme or reason behind that.
I think that feels like Lauren. Lauren went to DC, right?
Inside the room in the Capitol building where the British started the fire that burned a lot of it down in 1812. Actually, I've been in that room too. It's a pretty small room, actually, but I've been there. But that clue's not about me. I think that's Tyler. I feel like Tyler would put that down because he's a nerd. Anyway, bless his heart.
My clue and the story behind it. It's a pretty long story, and it's a pretty long clue. So this is my clue. I've been inside the room in the Capitol building where the British started the fire that burned a lot of it down in 1812. If you didn't know there's a war in 1812, the British burned down most of the Capitol building, which is only really still standing because most of it's made out of stone, But they started a fire to burn a lot of the documents inside of it. So me and my family were on a trip to DC, and we saw the Smithsonian and stuff, and I like the Natural Science Building. But we got an invitation from our congressman to look inside the Capitol building, get a tour of it. And so while we were inside of there, getting through the tour, at one point we had to all stand up against the wall. Like there was a bunch of security guards there. They were like, "You need to not be here right now." And we were like, "We can't not not be here, and we were pushed up against the wall. And walking down the hallway was Senator Mitch McConnell, and he stopped and he recognized my dad because he's been at like some functions in Louisville for some taking pictures of the mayor and such. He was like, "Hey, are you here to see me?" And my dad, in all his genius, said, "Yes." And so we got to go up to Senator Mitch McConnell's office, and it was pretty cool. And they kind of described the history of it to us, and we got a picture. I don't have the picture on me. It's with my dad. But yeah, that's the story of my clue. I got all of you. There's no way any of you got it. And if you did, I want a refund.
The next clue said, this staff member stapled their hand to the wall. Now, when that came in, my first thought was Aaron Flynn, because he does stuff like that. The handyman stuff, not necessarily stapling himself to a wall.
I'm very concerned if someone has stapled their hand to a wall. Mostly because that would really hurt. I don't even want to think about stapling my hand to a wall, but I think it's Dale Matheny.
And this one is a Z thing to do because I think Z has the pain tolerance to take this. This staff member has stapled their hand to a wall. Now, I don't know how it happened. I don't know what type of staples it was. There's some big staples. There's like big staple guns that shoot staples this big. I wouldn't want those in my hand. I wouldn't want a regular staple in my hand. But it also sounds like something you do in like high school. You know, you're messing around with your friends, and all of a sudden somebody's got a staple in their hand. You know how it is. But yeah, hard read. That's Z's clue.
I'm a resident assistant at my school, which means that I make a lot of bulletin boards, and I was stapling the letter I to the wall on this bulletin board. And you know the dot on the I, it's really small. Well, I was holding it up with this hand and stapling with this hand, and instead of stapling the dot in the I missed. And I managed to staple my entire finger right to the wall. Just missed the nail and hit the side right there. And then I stood there for a moment with my hand stapled to the wall and said, ow, 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 and then removed it. But I spent a few moments with my hand stapled to a wall.
This one's real interesting. The staff member has gotten lost in the rainforest for 2 hours once. How did you not die? There are a lot of things in the rainforest that will kill you straight up. I don't mess with rainforests. If I never go to South America, I will be fine. I'll be fine. I've seen the animals down there. It's worse than Australia because at least Australia, you know they're there, right? It's not going to hide in a desert. Rainforest, you're like, what's under this leaf? Poisonous frog. Fun fact. So I got to go with this one. I know it's not my sister because I know if she went to a rainforest, I think, you know. And see, I don't want to put this on Kathy either. But I think I'm going to have to because Kathy has traveled a lot. Not to bear-infested areas, but definitely traveled. So I'm going to have to go with Kathy for this one. Again, how did you not die? That's a lot. Also, I can totally see Kathy surviving.
I think that this is Logan because I know that he's been on a mission trip, I think, to someplace in South America or maybe Central America, and there's rainforests there. So I think it's him.
You know what? I'll retract that last one. Logan's the one that got lost in the rainforest for 2 hours.
I was once lost in the rainforest for 2 hours. That was in Costa Rica. It was like the second or third day I was there. And I was on a study abroad trip, and I went with 2 other students. We were all hiking in the rainforest, and we went out in groups. So I was with 2 other students, my friend Nathan and Alder, and we stopped to look at some capuchin monkeys. And then after we had looked at the capuchin monkeys, we realized we didn't know which way we had come from. So we just started going in a direction and realized we had no idea where we were or how to read the signs or how to get out of the rainforest. So we just started kind of wandering around, and that thing where you feel like you've seen things before when you're lost, when you've like passed something and you think you've seen it before, is very true. And so we were walking for a long time until we found a like park or rainforest maintenance guy. but he only spoke Spanish. So good thing is that Alder was fluent in Spanish, and he was able to talk to the guy and tell him our situation, and the guy walked us out, and we were over a mile into the rainforest, walking in the opposite direction of which way we wanted to go.
That's all, folks.